This is Engadget. Here's what's happening in the world of technology. Today is September 20th. Apple acknowledged that the iPhone 14 was designed to be easier to repair, but it might have undersold that upgrade. iFixit has finished a teardown of this year's base iPhone, and it's clear that the device was reworked from the ground up with do-it-yourself fixes in mind. The back glass is easier and cheaper to fix as promised, but used a metal midframe to keep the front just as accessible. The design is more repairable than the many Android phones that are only simple to open from the back, iFixit said. The iPhone 14's midframe maintains the same structural rigidity you saw in the 13 family. Apple had already moved the earpiece and front camera array to a more repairable location on the previous generation's mainframe. The iPhone 14 isn't going to make Fairphone buyers regret their purchases. Apple still requires that customers and technicians activate parts after they're installed, so you can't just use an unofficial back instead of potentially pricier self-service repair components. Even so, iFixit claims this is the most repairable Apple handset since 2016's iPhone 7. The rework isn't completely surprising. Apple is facing pressure to improve repairability from both the federal government and state legislatures. If it didn't address at-home repairs with its designs, it risked battles with regulators that could force changes and dish out penalties. Whatever the reasoning, you probably won't mind if you've been waiting for an iPhone that's truly fix-friendly. And a Baltimore judge has overturned the conviction of Adnan Syed, reports the Associated Press. The 41-year-old had been serving a life sentence for the 1999 murder of his former girlfriend, Hai-Min Lee. In 2014, his case attracted international interest after it was chronicled by former Baltimore Sun reporter Sarah Koenig in the first season of the hit podcast Serial. Koenig spent more than a year investigating the specifics of Syed's case, focusing in particular on the conduct of his lawyer, Christina Gutierrez. In 2019, Maryland's highest court found Gutierrez had failed to properly investigate an alibi witness, but voted against granting Syed's request for a retrial. However, prosecutors recently recommended that a judge grant him a new trial, noting the state had lost confidence in the integrity of the conviction. With Monday's decision, the state has 30 days to decide whether to move forward with a new trial or drop the case entirely. "This is not a podcast for me," said young Lee, the brother of Hai-Min Lee, during Monday's hearing. He said his family felt betrayed and blindsided by the state's motion to vacate Syed's conviction. "Whenever I think it's over and it's ended, it always comes back," he added. Following the decision, Serial announced it would air a new episode on Tuesday morning. In the years since its widely successful first season, Serial has produced a series of spin-offs, including S-Town and the Trojan Horse Affair. More broadly, it's safe to say the true crime genre and podcasting more generally have never been more popular, even if the series was never quite able to replicate the success of its first season. If you want to catch the latest tech news as it's happening, check out Engadget.com or tune in again every weekday.
Spoken Layer.